Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Smequle, and in today's video we got a ton of new news from NBA 2K18 concerning Myleague and Mygm. 2K just dropped a whole list of stuff explaining what the new game modes are going to be like, what the new things in these game modes are going to be like, and it's looking like there is going to be a lot of improvement in this game. And I'm going to bring it to you guys here today. Going to tell you everything. That way you don't have to read through the huge post that they posted about it. I will link that in the description though in case you want to read over that and everything. Anyways, we are going to start this thing off. So first off, we're going to be going over Mygm. And apparently this year 2K says that Mygm and Myleague will be a completely different experience. In 2K17, it was pretty much pointless to play Mygm. There was really no upside to that. It was pretty much the exact same as Myleague. You could kind of do all the same things in both of them. There wasn't much of a point to actually play Mygm, but this year we actually have a story mode in Mygm. So as we all know, there's always a My Career story mode, but 2K actually decided to bring that to the Mygm. So the story in it is that you used to be an NBA player, you blew out your knee or something, you got a career-ending injury, and a few years later you decide that you want to become a GM and continue to try and win a championship. So that is the story mode in 2K. They didn't give too much more either than that because they don't want to spoil all of it, but that is the story mode in 2K. We also got a bunch of screenshots for 2K18 which you will be seeing on screen right now. Graphics looking really good in this game. Hopefully this game ends up turning out really good. Anyways, some of the things that we got in the new game for the Mygm mode, I'm going to be going over the kind of the smaller ones and then going into more depth with the bigger ones. So first off, we got super max contracts coming. So as you know, Steph Curry, James Harden, each got like some crazy contracts. Steph Curry with his $201 million 5-year contract, and James Harden with a 4-year $169 million contract. These are going to be added into the game now, so you can players those super max contracts, those superstars, you can offer them the money that they need. Up next, we got exception amounts. They'll increase the value by 45%. Rookie scale contracts. The rookie scale will be increased by 45% with existing rookie scale contracts being amended to reflect the 45% increase. And then we got minimum annual salary. The league minimum contract will rise by 45% starting with the 2017-18 NBA season. So these are all just things being added in the NBA that are also going to be added into 2K now. Annual increases. Players with bird rights will now be eligible for 8% annual raises. Non-bird players are eligible for 5% annual raises. Maximum salaries. Players will have new maximum salaries calculated using the actual salary cap. So again, based off just the actual NBA over 38 rule. Formerly, it was the over 36 rule, but it was never in 2K before. Teams are now bound to the contract restrictions of signing a player that turns 38 during the contract. So obviously, you have this in real life. If you're over 38, you got to offer them a certain contract. So they're actually integrating this into 2K, which they've never done before. Stretch provision. When a player is waived using the stretch provision, the team will not be able to re-sign or reacquire the player until July 1st of the season where the contract ends. Roster minimums. You now are required to carry 14 players, used to be 13, on the roster at all times unless granted an exception. Also said that there's many more rule changes, new features supported in NBA 2K, which is this is just all the stuff that NBA is updating. That's what this first whole bit was all about. These are all NBA rules. And then next we're going to be going into the things that are new into the league that have been in the NBA for a while. So first off, we got G League integration. So it used to be the D League. Last year, we just changed it to the G League. Gatorade League in NBA. There's actually an integration with this into NBA 2K18, which is just amazing. This is super cool. You can bring players up and down from the G League and you can offer them different contracts, which is also into our next one, two-way contracts. Two-way contract, and the player can spend a maximum of 45 days with their NBA team during the G League season. And once the player has run out of NBA days, he must spend the remainder of the season in the G League unless he gets converted into an NBA minimum contract player. So you could actually find out how G League players are doing, draft them to your team, and you can bring those players on your G League team up to your normal team, offer them contracts. If they're doing good enough, you can offer them longer minimum contracts. So that's really cool. You can kind of crossways in between the G League. You aren't actually allowed to play in the G League though. They did say that wasn't going to be something that happened. So free agent moratorium. So what this is actually the period before free agency actually happens. When in the normal NBA, there's all that hype. You're finding out which players are going to be traded to which teams. Teams are having meetings with players and all of that stuff. So that's what this is. They're introducing a 3-day free agent moratorium period where you can actually start having meetings with free agents and actually start to discuss contracts. You can't actually sign people, but this is where you can discuss things with different players. So up next, we got international draft prospect stashing. So what this is in the NBA draft, you can sign overseas players, but they might not actually be coming over to play for you for a few years because they have a contract with whatever team they are with overseas. So what this actually allows you to do is flag players and actually see how long they're going to be overseas for, so you kind of know when they're going to be coming over, so you can sign them at the right moment and all that. Up next, this is probably one of the coolest features they're adding. They're adding an analytics tool. So what this is it gives you kind of a graph, and you can plot two different data points, so two different stats that a player has in the league. So you can do points per game and 3-pointers made per game, and it's going to show you just a complete graph, so you're going to be able to see some outliers. So as you can see on the picture right here, you got Steph Curry as the outlier in the 3-pointers made versus the points per game, which is pretty cool. You can put any two data sets you want together. So maybe you want minutes per game, points, maybe you want assists, and 3-pointers made. Just all of that, you can put that together, find out the best players at that, any outliers that are good in that certain position. So say you're looking for somebody that's a lot of points per game and at 3-pointers, obviously you got Steph Curry. You can look for other players just like this to fit your team. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. Definitely find a lot better players to fit what you're looking to do. Alright, so up next we got trading draft rights. So in the NBA, you can sign or draft a player but not yet sign them to a contract, and then later on trade them for a different player in the draft or a different pick or something like that. So that's what this is. You get trading draft rights, so you can draft a player and then later on you can trade that player without signing a contract with them yet to another team for some other players. So just something else that's in real life that we can now do in the game. Up next, they're adding cap holds and renounce rights. There's also an improved draft class generation. So the improved draft class generation, they actually improved the generated draft classes that they used in NBA. So when you just automatically generate a draft class, you select that option in 2K, it's going to be more appropriate spread of attributes and tendencies with respect to the given player type. So in 2K17 they didn't do a good job with this. Some players wouldn't be the best, they'd have weird stats in their position and stuff. So they've improved this in the next game. Next we got alternate uniforms for created / relocated teams. So what this is that you're actually able to create additional uniforms for teams. You can create an alternate uniform. So in NBA 2K17, when you created a new team or a relocated team, you could only select the two uniforms, home and away. But now you can actually make alternate uniforms for this. And obviously we got all the community designs we can use. So that is awesome. Up next we got rebranding and existing arena. So In 2K18, you're actually able to redesign any arena of the team you're using. So say you are like the Boston Celtics and you don't like their arena anymore, you can completely change that. You can put different graphics on the court and all of that, but still stay in the new arena. You don't actually have to make a new team for that. So up next, we got All-Star Selection Experience. So what this is that 2K automatically generates a city for the next All-Star weekend to be hosted at, and this is actually an event in the off season. So they'll go through, they have all these different things that build into what it actually chooses. They have like a system that chooses how each team will be selected for the All-Star weekend. So in the off season, you'll actually be able to go into this event and find out where the All-Star weekend is going to be located at for the next year. You can also override this in Myleague. So as well as offline Myleague and Mygm, we also have some Myleague online improvements. So first off, we got team customization / relocation. League members will now have the ability to customize their teams, including creating new identities, uniforms, arenas, courts, etc. So pretty much what you can do now in offline, you can do in online. You can completely customize your team, whatever team you are. You can relocate them. So online, say you're the Celtics, you don't want to be in Boston anymore. Maybe you want to be the North Carolina Celtics. You can go there, relocate your team, and you can also redesign uniforms. Playoff game resets. So admins will be able to reset completed playoff games if something weird happened. You want to replay that game or something, you can actually reset that game and replay it in case somebody, you're playing a league, somebody had to leave or something, you want to redo that game, you can actually do that now. So up next, we got player accessory frequency. So what this is different NBA players, they don't always wear the same accessories when they're playing. One game you wear a headband, the next game you won't. So this is actually being integrated into Mygm / Myleague. There's a random system, not really random, depends on the game whether or not players are wearing certain gear, just like in the real NBA. And then you can also customize this yourself. All 17 accessory slots come with 5 frequency options that you can determine for each player. So you can determine how often each player is going to wear a certain gear and stuff like that. So just a little thing right there, kind of cool though. There's also improved searching for created teams / rebrands. So when you're searching for teams to make in Myleague, for created teams that are already created by the community and rebrands, it's easier to look for that stuff now. Wasn't the best system in NBA 2K17. Bookmarking favorite creators. You can bookmark your favorite creators in the community. So people that make the best jerseys, the best teams in that, you can bookmark them so you know all the stuff that they're going to be releasing. They're going to be at the top. Hardship exception. So what this is if players get injured, if you have 4 players who are injured and have missed at least 3 regular season games, you're actually able to sign a different player. So from free agency or something, you can actually sign a different player and go over that cap limit of maximum players on the team. Next, we got the jump shot creator. So everybody knows what the jump shot creator is in NBA 2K My Career. You can create, well, this actually came in 2K17. You can create your own custom jump shot, and now you're actually going to be able to use this in Myleague and Mygm. You can customize every single player's jump shot in the league. Up next, we got duplicate players for the fantasy draft. So if you choose old time teams in a fantasy draft, there's going to be like 2 of each player. So you might have 2 Ray Allens, 2 LeBron James, 2 Michael Jordans. So what you can do now is in these drafts, you can actually select whether or not you want those duplicate players to be in it. So you want to be more realistic, not really realistic, but only have 1 of those players. You can do that and actually not have duplicates. Next, we got practice plays. So this is a feature that's kind of weird that it was never in, but you can actually now practice plays in Mygm and Myleague, which is weird that it was never in there before. Alright, so this next feature I actually am pretty excited for. Player create added to Myleague. You can actually create your own player in NBA 2K and actually bring him into the Myleague whenever you want. So you want to create a player that you just want to bring in. You're going through a Myleague and you just want to bring in this creative player. You can actually do that now in Myleague which is super cool. They've also quick edit improvements. They've improved that, made that easier to use. So when you're in the roster and you just want to quickly edit everybody's stats and stuff, that's easier to use now. New team relocation cities are also added. We got Fort Worth, Texas, El Paso, Texas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Tucson, Arizona, Fresno, California, Long Beach, California, Mesa, Arizona, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Raleigh, North Carolina. There's some new teams that you can actually relocate to now, new cities. Improved MyGM slider support, taking a cue. So just the MyGM slider support is improved now, and that's actually everything that they have added into this game. So a lot of new features going into the games, a lot of exciting things. I'm kind of excited just to try out bringing those custom players in. Some of the new cities will be cool to go to. That new analytics thing. And a lot of things that players will actually, or the community will actually be able to do. A lot more customization for these leagues. It's exciting to see what some people are going to do with this. Anyways, guys, that's it for the news today. If you did enjoy it, smash that like button. I'll also leave the link to this in the description so you can go check out everything yourself. There is a bunch of things. I went over pretty much everything. Anyways, guys, this has been your boy Smequle, and I will see you next time. Peace.